Hi, welcome back. So, there's a new version of World Wide Web that is on the rise, and it wants to put the power back in the hand of people, and we called it as Web3, right? So, Web3 is going to be decentralized, democratized, that is, it is going to be unregulated, peer to peer communication that does not require or include any intermediary. And this entire promise of a utopian world, which is going to be self governing, permissionless, trustless, and verifiable, also opens door to various new fields and the possibilities with it. And in this video, we are going to discuss on different fields around Web3. So let's get started. Now, the first use case of Web3, and this is particularly the majority of the use case right now, is the DeFi. Now, DeFi stands for decentralized finance. Now, decentralized finance refers to a global financial system that is open and accessible to anyone with an internet connection. So, all you need is basically an internet connection, and you can become a part of it. So no centralized authority owns this system. Hence, no one can block the payments, deny access to any information, and most importantly, the market are always open. So it runs 24/7. There is no Christmas holiday, no New Year holiday. We have a financial system that works, say, 24/7 as and when required. And most of the time, the DeFi enthusiasts consider this as an alternative to the traditional financial system, which is decade old. Not just decade, I think in some case it might be centuries old and highly regulated. So DeFi, what it does is that it gives people control and visibility over their money. There's already a booming DeFi market that already exists where people can say lend, short, long, buy, sell and earn interest on their cryptos. And the most amazing thing is that all of this can be done without any need for the personal identification. So how exactly is it different from traditional finance, right? So there are a lot of points, but I will highlight some of them, some of the key points. So in traditional finance, any institution can block the access of an individual to set up a bank account or use financial services. Whereas in decentralized finance, one does not even need to have any personal identification to access the system. The second important point is that the traditional financial systems are regulated by governments, central banks, or other centralized institutions, whereas no one owns this entire space. So basically, it's public, the ledger is public, anyone can come up and can become part of the system, and no one can block anyone from getting paid. In comparison to the traditional financial system, again, this DeFi is 24/7 open. Decentralized financial systems are transparent. Anyone can look into the system and can analyze how the system works, right? So, whereas in the traditional financial system, these are closed ones. I mean, I don't think that we have an access to look even into their closed loan books unless and until some fraud gets committed, and which public are generally aware very later on. And again, the most important thing here is this is a very specific tweet that has been done by the Binance CEO Changpeng Zhao, and he mentioned that DeFi requires no human intervention to process any transaction on the network. This is possible because these are the exchanges that are running on the blockchain network under predetermined conditions specified in smart contracts. So essentially, these are continuously running system with very simple, few lines of code, and anyone can go into the network and can see how this system basically operates. However, when did this term came into existence? So how DeFi came into existence? Well, there's no single inventor of DeFi, but the term DeFi apps first came into existence on top of the Ethereum blockchain. Few people say that it first came into existence in August 2018 in a Telegram chat between the Ethereum developers and entrepreneurs, including NGO of Set Protocol, and there were other bunch of entrepreneurs. However, this entire term DeFi has since then been extended from the Ethereum network to other blockchain networks such as say Solana and even Binance Smart Chain. Now, what can we do with DeFi? Now, there are many practical and real life problems that DeFi app solves. The first one is the lending and borrowing, right? So through DeFi, one can lend their cryptos to exchange and earn interest on it. Now, that is really one of the main primary features of DeFi, and something which is very similar to how the financial system, like centralized financial system works. Though in DeFi, the interest rate are huge. I mean, it is up to 18% on USDTC. Similarly, one can borrow these digital assets in order to trade or to pay any collateral. So there are many DeFi users which uses lending as a way to earn interest, and there are various techniques as well, such as say yield farming and all. Other one is the trading and derivative. Through various centralized and decentralized exchanges such as say Coinbase, Binance, Uniswap, what people do is that they can directly trade with one another. And skilled traders in some case can even make leverage trades in which they bet more than they have, or even create a synthetic asset that mimic like a traditional stock and commodities that we have in traditional exchanges, right? So now how DeFi works. Now DeFi works exactly similar to how say any smart contract code would work. So DeFi uses smart contract and cryptocurrencies in order to create a financial ecosystem which does not rely on any intermediaries. Now, smart contract replaces the regulation of a financial institution. So basically the regulator here is the smart contract, which is essentially a piece of code. So these are essentially the piece of code that once goes live cannot be tampered with and runs under predetermined conditions. So these contracts are basically public, and anyone can basically go ahead, inspect and audit. Hence, any bad contract will instantly come under this scrutiny, leading to greater transparency in the entire system itself. So it's a transparent system. Well, other than DeFi, what are the other fields? The next one is the NFT, something like a very famous term. NFT, everyone have heard about it, and we'll discuss more on the NFTs and the usual coins and tokens through the various Ethereum say token standards in our coming videos. However, what NFT stands for is the non-fungible tokens. So NFT stands for non-fungible tokens in economics term, which refers to the item that are not interchangeable for any other item. For example, the coins, they are basically fungible. So I having one coin and say any other person having one coin, if we exchange those coins, nothing will eventually matter, right? So even I having one coin and another person having one coin is having the same thing. However, NFTs, these are basically not interchangeable for other items, such as say other NFTs, because of the fact that these say items have their own unique properties. For example, digital art, right? Gaming domain names. I mean, you would see on Twitter and other social media where people have their domains such as abc.eth. So this is what a domain name would be. A digital currency such as ETH, stablecoin, on the other hand, are interchangeable, as I mentioned, right? So one USDTC can be replaced with another USDTC, and that's why they're called as fungible tokens. Now, NFTs are currently changing the lives of digital artists through huge sales to a new crypto audience. So there are like proper NFT marketplace where you go ahead, you put your digital asset as a you put your digital asset for sale, and then people are going to go ahead and buy that. The other field of Web3 is the dApps, which is also referred to as the decentralized application. Now, dApps are a growing list of application that uses blockchain to power user in the field of technology, finance, gaming, art, and collectibles. And there are many other relatable fields as well. Now, these are essentially the digital applications that run on the blockchain network, blockchain networks of computer instead of relying on a single computer, right? Hence, these are free from control and any interference from any single authority, right? So, what are the dApps feature? So first is that they are decentralized, which is also the feature of how the blockchain works. So the dApps cryptographically stores all user data in a decentralized blockchain. That is, the data must be stored in a distributed manner across multiple participating nodes. The second one is open source. In fact, the entire blockchain ecosystem is open source. The third one is they follow the concept of tokenomics, right? So there are tokens where dApp offers these tokens or coins which are native to the blockchain. And what it does is that these tokens allow access to the network and also contribute value from all the participants. And then consensus algorithm, like they basically follow the consensus algorithm, which is either proof of work or proof of stake, so that everyone in the network is on the same page and say they trust the data as it is. So what are the various different types of dApps, right? So dApps can be categorized into three types: type 1, type 2, and type 3. However, the type 1 is known as the financial blockchain apps. Now, these are typically the dApps that have their own blockchain, right? So something like Bitcoin or Ethereum. So they are their network on their own. So these are considered as the first type of a dApp. And type 1 is essentially the core of all the other types of dApp we have, say the type 2 and the type 3. So type 1 is just the financial blockchain, such as Bitcoin and Ethereum. The second one is partially financial, right? So type 2 are the dApps that uses the blockchain of type 1 dApp protocol, which is the blockchain in Ethereum. For example, all the dApps that have been built on Ethereum can be considered as type 2 dApps, right? For example, there are several applications. For example, initial coin offering is another example of this category. Why? Because they apply standards which is basically part of the Ethereum blockchain, which is the ERC20 token standard. Then comes the third type of dApps. Now, these type of dApps are fully functional dApps, right? So these are the dApps that uses the protocol of type 2 dApps, which is the basically the ERC20 token standard in the case of ICO. However, these dApps also uses feature of distributed system as well. So they are a combination of say only blockchain and so there are type 2 is basically only blockchain, type 3 will be a combination of both centralized and decentralized. And there are a lot of applications currently, the majority of them lies under the type 3 dApps itself. Now, the other fields of Web3, and this is a very exciting phase, exciting space as well, which is the Metaverse. So Metaverse and its use case with blockchain. Now the Metaverse is typically defined as a three-dimensional virtual reality space where user can interact, play games and experience an immersive surrounding. The use case of Metaverse with blockchain comes from the fact that Metaverse would be and Metaverse is also going to be decentralized in nature, right? So what are those applications within of Web3 within Metaverse? The first one is the Immutable Asset. Now, what does that mean is that in Metaverse, essentially, there will be non-fungible tokens or NFTs that one can earn and sell. All those virtual reality games would allow user to make like real money, which has value inside the Metaverse. Now, these assets would remain completely undamaged even if the user quits the game. Or their adverse events in the Metaverse. So all of them, they are basically, all these digital assets within the Metaverse will be tied to something as NFTs itself. The third one is the self-identity identity authentication. And what does this mean is that a blockchain can keep track of identities on the Metaverse, essentially acting as a equivalent to something called as social security number, or maybe Aadhaar in our Indian case. So where say all the essential information such as say age, change to one's appearance, all the online activity history, and other unique details will be stored on the blockchain for transparency and to prevent any crime in the metaverse. The third one, and this is where I think the use case has already started, is the real estate, right? So real estate is a very key commodity in the metaverse. Defining and regulating real estate can be a very challenging thing. And blockchain is going to act as an immutable record of how real estate is created, say altered, traded, and destroyed in the metaverse. And the fourth one is the incentivization. Now, and this is also a very important thing where direct tokens comes into picture. So this will probably be among the first application of the blockchain on the metaverse, which is going to be the tokenomics, right? So creator will be incentivized through cryptocurrencies, would ensure that no arbitrary or unfair rules that governs the entire exchange, right? So this is all about metaverse. There will be, currently the space is still under development, but blockchain is anyway going to be going to play a very critical role in its future advancement as well. And the next Web3 applications or its use case would lie into tokens, and it's currently being used almost everywhere. So tokens. Now, what are tokens? Now, tokens are the virtual currencies or say a denomination of a cryptocurrency. Now these are tradable assets or utilities that resides on the blockchain and can be used for the purpose of lending, borrowing and other economic activities. And we discussed this in the decentralized finance as well. So these tokens acts as a legal tender, which means that token holders can use them to make purchases, or they can trade these tokens just like other securities to make profit. For example, Bitcoin, Ethereum, USDTC, right? So these are the essential examples of tokens. However, there are a misconception about tokens similar to being coin. So there is a clear difference. Although its use cases are almost similar, however, there is a difference between the coins and the token. So, the coins are something which operates on its native blockchain. So, a blockchain keeps track of all the transaction that involves in its native crypto coin. For example, say when we pay someone with Ethereum, right? The receipt goes onto the Ethereum blockchain. If the same person pays back later with the Bitcoin, the receipt will go into the Bitcoin network, right? So we paid in Ethereum, the ledger gets updated into the Ethereum network, and when we receive payment in Bitcoin, the receipt gets updated onto the ledger gets updated on the Bitcoin network. The second thing is that coins, they act as a money, right? So one can use crypto coin to purchase goods and services from major corporations these days, and there are a lot of even Tesla started taking Bitcoin as a legal currency, and even there are few countries such as El Salvador where Bitcoin has officially become an official currency alongside the US dollar. The second major difference between coin and tokens is that coins can be mined, right? So when we earn crypto, we usually earn crypto in two ways. One is through traditional mining, which is the proof of work concept that I explained earlier, and the proof of stake. The other is the proof of stake, and the third one is basically through the we go ahead and we purchase them, right? So unlike tokens, unlike coins, the tokens does not have their own blockchain, and this is the difference that you will see here. That cryptocurrencies are like Bitcoin and Ethereum, which is native to their blockchain, and tokens are USDTC, Tether, and other tokens, which are basically a replica of the ERC20 token contract itself. So yeah, that's all about different fields around Web3. It's an ever-evolving field, so we'll have more use case coming in the future. However, that's it from my side in this video. Thanks.